Fuminori, we suffered a head injury, so we see everyone as gross monsters except for Saya, who is a cute anime girl, and she is some sort of monster. The character doesn't know this, but we, as the viewer, do. She's some sort of monster that killed one of Fuminori's old friends, and she used to live in the hospital. Now, True Scary Stories, Hospital Edition. Chapter 4, The Monster in the Hospital. A medical student relates his shocking experiences. Will you believe him or not? Strange things started happening at the hospital around the end of last spring. That's around when some guy went missing, I'm pretty sure. And I don't think he was killed by Saya. Began with patients waking up in the middle of the night screaming. They all spoke of terrifying nightmares, and many of them had to be sedated. Some patients even transferred to other hospitals because of it. The weird thing was that they had all had exactly the same dream. A dream about a horribly disgusting monster staring down at them from their bedside. But really strange stuff started happening after that. There used to be a lot of stray cats around campus, looking for scraps from the students. One day, the cats suddenly disappeared, and it wasn't that they'd stopped coming. It was more like they'd vanished from the area entirely. And then people stopped walking their dogs around. According to rumors, the dogs were refusing to go anywhere near the school. Eventually, things started going missing in the hospital. What? No. Organs, to be precise. Transplant organs kept disappearing from the storage. People came close to losing their jobs over it, and it wasn't just 2 or 3 times that it happened. They tried to keep it from the students, but we heard it was a lot worse than that. People started saying there was something living in the hospital. Janitors would find strange messes that could only have been made in the middle of the night, traces of something that had crawled down the hallway, or weird stains caused by something dripping through the ceiling. The late shift nurses talked about hearing strange noises on the same night the patients woke up screaming. There's one last story, one you can never mention inside the hospital. One day, the obstetrix... Okay, I was about to look up what that is, but I think it's where they keep the babies! One day, the obstetrix department went crazy. They said a newborn had disappeared in the night. If that were true, the police would have come, and it would have been all over the news. But they say the big shots managed to keep it all, to make it all go away. It's just a rumor, of course. These strange incidents suddenly stopped towards the end of summer. Now there are almost no patients complaining of nightmares, and the cats have started coming back to campus. But still, what happened in the summer? In the hospital that summer? Even now, just thinking about it gives me the creeps. Omi! Nothing! This is the 3rd day in a row they haven't been able to get in touch with Omi. She's dead. There's no sign that she returned to her apartment, and even her family doesn't know anything. Parents have already filed a missing persons report. Whoops. Well, you know her. She'd probably just pop up somewhere like nothing happened. Sorry guys. No. I hope so, Yo replies with a gloomy expression. She's worried about Omi, of course. But the incident with Fuminori 3 days ago must still be weighing on her as well. Yo hasn't seen Fuminori since then, and Fuminori hasn't made any effort to approach her or Koji. 4 people used to meet in the cafeteria between classes, but now there are only 2. Hey Koji, let's keep thinking. Isn't there somewhere Omi might have gone? No, Koji answers evasively. I already checked everywhere. It's a lie, of course. Koji knows where Omi planned to go that evening, but he doesn't want to bring Fuminori up in front of Yo. Their awkward silence is mercifully broken by the bell signaling the start of the next period. Well, I've gotta go. Yeah. Unless Koji is mistaken, Yo is supposed to have class next period too, but she just sits there, staring off into space. Unable to come up with anything to say, he leaves the cafeteria reluctantly. But both Omi's disappearance and Yo's depression worried Koji, and both problems lead back to the exact same place. Fuminori. What the hell is Fuminori doing? When Omi went missing, the first thing he did was question Fuminori. After all, the last time he'd seen her was just before she stormed off to give Fuminori a piece of her mind. Fuminori responded with an unequivocal denial and acted like he hadn't the slightest idea why Omi would have gone to see him. Perhaps that was only natural, as he was unaware that Omi and Koji had witnessed him reduce Yo to tears. Did Omi even make it to Fuminori's house? She had been riding a wave of emotion when she'd left and might have calmed down and changed her mind halfway there. Okay, so here's what's gonna go down. Someone's gonna see the shoes. Because since Japanese people are all real fancy and shit. Ooh, I got a text. Let's see who it's from. Ooh. One second, I'm gonna send a link to my friend that I'm streaming. Did Omi... So, since Japanese people are weird and they always have to take off their shoes. Her shoes. Fuminori can't see her shoes. Omi's shoes. Because... What's her face? Because, he's fucking crazy. But they're there. And so someone's gonna come in, see your shoes, and be like, oh shit! And they're also gonna see all the weird shit in his house, but that's neither here nor there. Did Omi even make it to Fuminori's house? She didn't, right. Or perhaps she ran into trouble on the way. Koji concluded, or more accurately, convinced himself, that one of these possibilities was the truth, subconsciously denying the one remaining possibility, that Fuminori was lying. That he had met Omi and was involved in her disappearance. So, it's safe to say that he wasn't involved in her disappearance? When questioned by the police, Koji told the truth about Omi's destination, only up to the train station, maintaining that he had no idea where she planned to go after that. He wanted to cooperate with the search, of course, but Omi couldn't have made it to Fuminori's house. Fuminori said so himself, didn't he? In that case, he told the police everything they needed to know. Not wanting to get this still fragile Fuminori involved, he forced himself to accept this flimsy logic. But the conflict had built up inside of him without his notice, leaving unanswered suspicion to fester in his mind. Koji, deep in thought, paying no attention to his surroundings, but perhaps that is what allows him to catch sight of his friend's back through the crowd of milling students. Oh, whoops. Huh. No? Fuminori? I know I'm pronouncing it wrong. Shut up. I don't need you guys judging me. At first, Koji assumes that he's headed to the lecture hall, but it appears that he's instead going home. Oh, another one bites the dust. Strange. Medical students have required courses in the afternoon. Though he is initially surprised, Koji's hesitation lasts only for a second. He follows his friend. Just woke up, guys, sorry. He follows his friend, taking care to stay far enough behind that he won't be noticed. Fuminori wasn't going home, but it became obvious when he boarded the train heading in the opposite direction. Koji's next guess what was going to happen was he was going to see his doctor at T University Hospital, but Fuminori rode straight through the closest station. Where is he going? At first, Koji felt ashamed for trailing his friend like this, but his conscience fell silent as Fuminori's actions grew more mysterious. The stranger it gets, the closer Koji feels to discovering the truth behind Fuminori's sudden transformation. Any knowledge would be welcome, no matter how slight. Even Koji's beginning to think that there must be more behind Fuminori's change than the accident alone. He wants a more satisfying answer. one that will help him decide whether Fuminori can be trusted. Fuminori gets off at a small station in a nondescript suburb of Tokyo. Koji follows, trying not to lose sight of him and the other disembarking passengers. Wait, what is it? The area is quite desolate, with only a small bookstore, a convenience store, and a market in front of the train station. It is easier for Koji to keep Fuminori in view. The neighborhood was carved out of the Fuji foothills. Just so you know, guys, I might have to switch this to the other monitor because content that isn't appropriate for YouTube may be displayed. The neighborhood is carved out of the Fuji foothills, and here and there remain steep inclines and wooded areas that escaped assimilation. Koji is amazed that such a quiet place exists less than an hour out of central Tokyo. Fuminori seems to know these streets. He moves quickly and purposely through the suburban community, his eyes fixed straight ahead. Before long, Fuminori reaches the house. Without ringing the bell or even knocking, he opens the door and vanishes inside, leaving Koji to wonder how Fuminori can treat the house as his own. After waiting to see if Fuminori comes back out, Koji approaches the gate and checks the nameplate. It's gonna be the doctor. Yep, Dr. Ogai, it reads. Koji had never heard of anyone by that name among Fuminori's acquaintances. Next, his attention is drawn to the thick wad of leaflets sticking out of the mail slot. This, coupled with a general dilapidated feel of the place, suggests that it had been abandoned for some time. A small playground about 2 blocks away provides an adequate vantage point from which to watch the front of the Ogai home. Fortunately, it does not appear to be the sort of house that has a rear exit. Koji settles down on a bench to begin his stakeout. I should have brought more smokes. No, you shouldn't have. Those things fucking kill you, you idiot. 1 hour passes and then another, but there remains no sign of movement around the Ogai residence. Some twilight settles upon the neighborhood. After Koji's 1 pack of cigarettes runs out, the stakeout becomes a battle against mounting impatience. He kills time by redialing Omi on his cell and sending her short text messages, but his efforts are futile, as he knew they would be. Or as futile as... Oh, no, that's right. I feel like some of this stuff, it's like the translation is English. It works, but it also, not very natural. When the sky begins to turn a deep blue and the streetlights come on, Fuminori finally emerges from the house and heads back toward the station with the same hurried stride. After some brief consideration, Koji decides that right now, investigating the house is more important than trailing Fuminori. He rings the doorbell just to make sure. After receiving the expected silence in response, he checks to make sure no one is watching and turns the doorknob. The door is not locked. The moment he enters the house, stale air thick with molded dust fills Koji's nostrils. It is the unmistakable smell of a house that has long lain untouched. It's also a faint hint of something else in the air, something that reminiscent of damp sewers and fetid cisterns. Flipping the white switch does nothing. The power must be off. Koji uses his cigarette lighter to illuminate the immediate area. In the thick dust covering the floor, he sees several brand new trails of footprints that can only have been made by shoes. Fuminori's. Koji decides to follow suit and dispense with courtesy. He enters with shoes on. What a fucking dickhead. The lighter's flickering flame pushes back the deathly silence and gloom of the house. Koji is surprised to see evidence of life remaining. Everything from furniture to tableware and appliances. Nothing seems to be missing. thickness of the dust suggests the house has been empty for several months, which means that the owner must have left with little more than the clothes on his back. Could he have gone on a long vacation? Calendar in the den is still turned to April. Empty and silent, yet still exhibiting signs of life that once lived there. The house reminds Koji of a passenger ship entombed at the bottom of the sea. In the graveyard-like quiet, a sinister thought suddenly enters his mind. No one is living here, but that does not mean the owner has left. Maybe he was murdered and his rotting corpse is under Koji's feet. He finds himself wanting a stronger light. A flashlight in his hand would make him feel much better. Koji follows Fuminori's footsteps to the second floor, where he begins to catch the scent of paper in the stale air. It is the smell of old books, instantly recognizable to anyone who has worked in an antique bookstore or library. First room on the second floor turns out to be a study. Its towering shelves packed with such a vast number of books that Koji fears the stability of the floor. As a medical student himself, he is able to discern at a glance that this study belongs to a medical professional, and a high-level one at that. Judging by the content of the books, a smorgasbord of technical volumes far beyond a simple student's understanding. The owner's interest lies more with the medical research than with clinical practice. Fuminori must have spent most of his time here. The scattered dust suggests that he was searching for something, and the contents of the desk drawers are in obvious disarray. A small pile of books stacked on the side with the table catches his eye. Being next to the desk, that must have been the most frequently read. Their nature could shed some light on the character of the person who worked here. Koji frowns as he examines the three books. These aren't scientific texts like the rest, but old leather-bound Western tomes like the sort you would find in a rare bookstore. The titles are meaningless to him. Traité des chiffres appears to concern semiotics, but Ars Magna et Ultima is some kind of treatise on divination. Then there's Vionch manuscript, which looks like some sort of picture book. One second. Semiotics. And then there's some kind of cipher. Right. Whatever they are, they clearly have nothing to do with medicine, refuting Koji's early guess that Ogai was a doctor. Looking down, Koji suddenly noticed the glint of something black and metallic underneath the chair. Pocket-sized flashlight, quite out of place among all these dusty books. Fuminori must have brought it in. With relief. Uh-oh. He's about to see something he shouldn't have. Exchanged his lighter for the flashlight. Its tiny body emits a powerful white beam that casts away the darkness. His courage restored as he decides to explore the rest of the house. Koji notices something strange. It was not visible in the lighter's weak flames. The slime. Oh no! Oh no! Dark oily stains are everywhere. The stains are especially thick around the doorknobs and stair banisters, like someone grasped them with a hand wrapped in greasy cloth. Looking closer, he sees places where slime was splashed low on the walls, almost as if a wet mop was run violently across the floor. What? Could Ogai have made these marks? How? Oh my god. So Ogai conjured up this being, and something happened to Ogai that we don't know. The doctor in the beginning, the doctor who is working with Fuminori, because Fuminori was in a car crash and he has to deal with trauma and all that shit. Recently did like an update, or not update, did check in, and it was asked about Ogai because Ogai was used for something that we don't know. But Saya is a slime creature, or at least slimy, we know. Or not, yeah, Saya. Could Ogai have made these marks? If so, how? Koji begins to feel sick as he imagines a man shambling through the house with slime dropping from his body. Finding the bedroom next to his study, Koji checks the closet on a hunch. He discovers 2 empty suitcases, not what one would leave behind when going on a long vacation. Sudden chill runs through him. Whoever living here is still somewhere inside the house. Suppressing the urge to flee, Koji goes back downstairs to check on the first floor. If he finds a corpse, he'll have to call the police right away. He might get away with trespassing if reports at first, but if they find the body later, it'll be awfully hard to explain his fingerprints all over the house. I'm worried about seeing something. So this is the picture. The flashlight reveals the den to be ooh, maybe I can like, yeah, that's pretty neat. No, that's hard to read. I have my second screen tilted at an angle. Flashlight reveals the den to be covered in even more slime than the rest of the house. The sofa looks as though it was dredged from the bottom of a swamp. In the kitchen, Koji takes one look at the sink and decides not to get any closer. He doesn't want any more fuel for his imagination. He reaches the door to the bathroom. This is what it's now. Common scene from TV dramas flashed through his head: a body with slit wrists floating in a bathtub full of water. Was there a movie where a hitman disposes of his victims in a bathtub filled with lye? Koji braces himself for the worst and opens the door slowly, then shines his light into a ceramic bathtub that appears in the darkness like a white ghost. This is the picture. Wait a minute. Just double checking because my really should change the description or whatever. Okay, back to business. Bones, a mountain of bones. Oh, shut the fuck up, me. Black with dry flesh and blood. Koji puts one hand against the wall to steady himself as his legs threaten to buckle. Something is wrong, he realizes. He tries to desperately get his thoughts in order. The bones are too small, and there are too many of them. They aren't human. This is the next picture. Got a nice view of that. The bones are piled atop each other like fallen leaves. They appear to be from small animals, perhaps cats or dogs. Oh, hello, viewer. Ooh, I'm gonna slide this over here. They appear to be from small animals, perhaps cats or dogs. Even so, the quantity is mind-boggling. How many bodies would it take to produce this many bones? The bones have all been separated from one another, so it doesn't look like bodies were just thrown into the tub and left there to rot. Each bone is covered with deep grooves, marks left by teeth biting through flesh. Koji's sanity won't let him consider the possibility that a human could have done this. The owner of this house must have kept some sort of carnivorous animal as a pet, giving it bones of small animals to eat and disposing of the remains in a bathtub. I feel like you're kind of being mean to Saya right now, calling her an animal. That's kind of rude. One sec. Test. Okay. Just testing out the chat function in the YouTube video. Must have, but why not dispose of leftovers properly? They could have been just thrown out with the garbage. Or was there something keeping him from leaving the house? The relief Koji felt when he realized the bones weren't human is once again under attack. In the first place, what the hell was Fuminori doing here? What's wrong, Koji? Omae wa mou shinderu. Nani? This is the picture. What? Backlog. Okay. Something came across the screen for a sec, but nothing. Koji whirls around, his light revealing Fuminori's expressionless face. You're trespassing. So are you! So are you, Koji replies, barely managing to speak over the pounding of his heart. Fuminori pushes past Koji and looks into the bathtub. He doesn't even flinch at the sight of bones. A friend of mine lives here. I'm just running an errand. Wait, who is this person? Where did you meet him? Meet them. Koji doesn't want to believe that old friendly Fuminori could have had contact with denizens of this house. I'll introduce you one of these days, he says, turning to leave without even a glance at Koji. I owe her my life. Hey, Fuminori! Koji runs after Fuminori, his heart finally beating normally again. Wait, is this friend of yours the reason you've been acting so strange? Standing in the entrance, Fuminori glares coldly at... I think we're good for now. The utter lack of emotion in his eyes gives Koji pause. You followed me, didn't you? Koji swallows. What can he say? You're starting to bother me, Koji. Don't do it again. Fine. Fuminori walks away without another word, leaving Koji alone in the entrance. Up until this very moment, concern for his friend was still at the forefront of his mind. Now, however, the concern is swiftly giving way to a growing sense of dread. Does the Fuminori he knew no longer exist? Was the person who just stared at Koji down an imposter wearing Fuminori's skin? Koji has begun to believe that it might be. Ew. What a pain. What a nuisance. Why does he insist on interfering? If only he spoke with me to exchange pleasantries. Even I could bear it. But now he's sticking his nose in my business just to satisfy his curiosity. Koji is a perfect example of someone who thinks that it's always good to take an interest in other people's affairs. He probably thinks that he's doing me a favor by prying into my life. He couldn't be more wrong. If he keeps this up, I'm going to have to find some way to deal with him. Like Saya said, I have to keep my search for Dr. Ogai a secret. Koji could ruin everything. I didn't have time to fully investigate the Ogai residence today. At this rate, it will probably take several days just to go through the study. Saya didn't believe that I'd find anything to help with the search, but I think there's still a lot to explore. Who knows what I'll discover. Problem is Koji. He knows about the house now. Will he make things difficult? Excuse me! A hair-raising voice calls as I'm about to pass through my gate. Suppressing a shudder, I put on a fake smile and turn to face the writhing mass of rotten flesh that is staring at me with bulging eyes. Good evening. Are you just getting home? Yes, I am. Of course. This is my next-door neighbor, Suzumi. A middle-aged painter, I think, who spends all day at home while his wife works. I haven't had much contact with him since the incident. Why is he suddenly talking to me now? Have you gotten used to living alone? Yes. Thank you for your help. I know it must be very difficult, but you're still young. I'm sorry, I would do the voice, but my throat just isn't happy right now. And I don't have the willpower to do it right now. You're still young. You have to try to move on with your life. Yeah. What is this? Did he just stop me? Did he stop me just to deliver a lecture? With such a big house, it must be hard to take care of everything by yourself. Yes, I suppose it is rather difficult. Why not hire a caretaker? Didn't your father have one? I'm still a student. I can't really afford the expense. I see. The flesh beast undulates foully, as though it still has something to say. The sight of it is driving me close to the edge. Even so, don't you think you should at least tend to your yard? I'd be happy to help.
Yeah.
No, thank you. I'll manage on my own. We know that his house is in shit condition. Like his yard, none of it's been taken care of in 3 months. Now I get it. He's worried about that the unsightliness of my house might diminish the image of his own. Damn snob. I flash a token smile, then retreat behind the safety of my gate. I can feel Suzumi's eyes boring into my back all the way to the front door. Why won't everyone stay out of my life? I just want to live together with Saya, alone where no one will ever bother us. Suzumi Yosuke sighs in annoyance as he watches the neighbor boy retreat into his house. What's with this attitude? Even while talking, he kept his eyes averted, as if to avoid looking at something repulsive. Has he always been such an unpleasant young man? No, of course not. When his parents were alive, he had been a normal youth, a little shy, but sensitive and caring. It must be the stress of his sad situation. If he continues to build, he might start to develop serious mental problems, like he hasn't already. Or is it too late already? Yosuke wonders as he gazes warily at the Sakisaka yard. Even during dinner, Yosuke can't shake the neighboring house from his mind. Wait, no. What's wrong, honey? You look like something's bothering you. Yeah, I saw the young man from next door today. Fuminari! Yeah, I just had to say something about his yard. I know, I wish he'd at least do something about that smell. The stink coming from the Sakisaka house grows worse each day, and the Suzumi family is finally at its wit's end. Could there be a dead cat in the bushes? He must notice the smell coming from his own yard. Maybe he's leaving his garbage out there. He wouldn't. No, I wouldn't put it past him. Who knows what he's doing in there all day with his storm shutters closed? What kind of life is he leading? Did he go crazy? Now, Hiromi, you shouldn't say things like that. Honestly, the way things are going, I'm starting to wonder if he's gone paranoid or something. Will he be alright? Unless he gets some help soon, who knows? The seconds crawl by, each tick of the clock compounding my agony. When I returned from the Ogai residence, I was greeted by a silent, empty home. Saya has vanished without leaving any clue as to her whereabouts. It isn't rare for her to go for walks at night. I've often gone with her, however. Such outings always take place in the middle of the night when no one's around, and never last more than 2 hours. Right now it's 5 in the morning. Soon the sky will begin to show the first light of dawn. So I think this is how he sees it, but I'm not sure. Because, from what I remember, he doesn't see it. He sees it much differently. And what's the truth? Even if she left right before I returned, she'd still be gone for almost half a day. I can't sleep. I can only wait in anguish. I tried to distract myself by painting more rooms, but I couldn't concentrate on the work. If I had known this would happen, I would have left the Ogai house sooner. I wish I hadn't wasted time on Koji. Saya doesn't return. The thought makes me want to tear out my hair. After its long absence, the true terror of loneliness is too much to bear. At last, the cowbell chimes and it's Saya's long-awaited, "I'm home!" And Saya's long-awaited, "I am home!" rings out from the bottom of the stairs. As I jump out of the bed, out of my bed in relief. All the stress that has built up through the night is released in a wave that threatens to sweep me off my feet. I'm so tired. Whoops. Saya sighs as she climbs the stairs. I knew the trip would be hard. Saya, where have you... My question trails off as I notice the thick bundles of paper that she's carrying under her arms. What are those? Your medical charts and surgery records. I went back to the hospital today. Saya drops her bundles on the floor, sending papers flying everywhere. Then pulls her favorite cushion over and collapses into it, stretching luxuriously. You walked all the way back from the hospital in the middle of the night? Sorry, she says, skillfully gathering the scattered papers together. I meant to come back sooner, but there were so many files to go through. So I decided to just bring everything. It was so heavy. Maybe it's just the exhaustion, but I'm not understanding a word Saya is saying. What are you planning to do with all this? What do you mean? What do you mean? I'm going to study it, of course, she replies, holding one MRI photograph after another up to the light. I'll have plenty of time to go over it here. So, she wants to make... I'm guessing she wants to make more people see her normally. First, I think she's playing around the occasional mutters of, better check this one. Oh, I see. Well, that was silly of them. And she separates photos into a growing pile beside her, making me think this might not be a joke after all. Do you understand this stuff? I learned a lot from Dad. She flashes me a grin, then returns to the papers. So that's how it is. No wonder it can't be fixed. It can't? Not by a human doctor. I can't tell if she's being serious. Oh, so she's also alien, I guess. Even for me, it'll probably be tough, she says offhandedly, even as her hands continue to shuffle papers. I'll have to experiment first. Watching more closely, I realize that her eyes are scanning each page, rapidly. So rapidly, in fact, that I was unable to notice it at first. Could Saya actually be reading my charts? Hey, Saya? Yeah? She answers coolly, looking up from the charts. I'm tired. Let's go to bed. Sure, Saya says with a grin. If that's what you want. Saya tosses aside the paper she was sorting, then leaps on me and begins to tear off my clothes. Hey, come on. Just once before bed, okay? Hey, Saya, you think it's unhealthy to be doing this every day? Huh? Are you sick? No, not me. My body is all grown up, but you're... Don't worry. She laughs playfully as she pushes me onto the bed, the familiar sweet sensation of her weight and skin rendering me helpless. But I am worried. We haven't used any contraception. Fuminori, she whispers, staring straight into my eyes. You don't want me to have your children? How can I respond to that? It's not that. Your body is too small. Pregnancy is a serious burden, you know. That's not really something you have to worry about. Saya seems unsure how to reply, but not because she doesn't understand what I said. Rather, the bemused look on her face makes it seem as though I'm the one not getting it. That's certainly true. But I know you're just thinking of me. She says suddenly, her smile glowing with innocence. So I'm happy! By the time I break the spell of her angelic smile, Saya has undone my belt and is removing my pants. Come on, Saya. Relax, she says teasingly. Tonight I'll do it so you don't have to worry. As she finishes, she looks up at me, smiling like she just pulled the greatest prank of her life. See, you don't have to worry if I do it like this. What am I supposed to say to that? Oh, I didn't exit. So, on the basis of scientific research, this is what the picture looks like next, but I am keeping it on my second monitor because it might turn more risque. Oh, hey, was that bad? It didn't feel good. Hearing the sudden nervousness in Saya's voice, I hastily stammer. Of course it felt good. But Saya, you didn't have to do that. But I want it! Suddenly distraught, Saya clings to me like a child who's just had her candy stolen. I want you inside me. This is very comfortable to read, guys. I'm enjoying reading this. Inside you. So Saya really does want to bear my child. I'm not averse to the idea. I still think that it might be too early, of course, but there isn't much point in worrying about my reputation now. Assuming that Sai and I will be left alone, I even welcome it. You don't like it? She gazes up at me pleadingly. How can I resist? I do like it. As long as you're okay with it, so am I. Saya smiles with relief and burrows contentedly into my chest. I love you, Fuminori, she purrs softly. With her body draped over mine, I become even more aware of how light and delicate she is. Can this tiny girl I really live as husband and wife? I feel a pang of self-loathing at the question. How can I still be afraid after all that's happened? Sai's feelings are so earnest. How could I not accept them? I need to resolve once and for all to rid myself of these useless trappings of morality. Sai and I are all that matters. There's no point worrying about what others think anymore. Though I suppose I should still talk to Saya's guardian, of course. I need to find Dr. Ogai as soon as possible. By the time I drift to sleep in exhaustion's comforting embrace, all doubts of Saya's... So, we're still kind of in the risky zone, so I'm not gonna... But, picture changed back to this. Whatever the case, all that matters is that she's returned to me. Okay. 2 o'clock. For Suzumi Yosuke, this is the most filling time of day. After seeing his wife and daughter off, taking care of the morning chores, and eating a leisurely lunch, it's finally time to sit down at his easel. He's not a particularly popular painter, and he would only hold an exhibition if he were hurting for money. However, the design work he does on the side ensures that there's always enough to support his lifestyle. Alongside the salary his wife earns working for a magazine, they're still able to pay off their mortgage, send their daughter to school, and still have plenty left over. Yosuke's life is perfect, leisurely in absence of want. Except wanting that goddamn neighbor to clean his yard and shit. He loves his house, considering it a symbol of his success. When he mows the lawn, polishes the windows and floors, and cleans the kitchen, toilet, and bath, he feels the same joy as he does when washing his own body. Just as he knows the length of his fingernails and the time since his last meal, he also knows everything about his home's condition. The status of its every door, the freshness of every flower, the amount of ice in the ice tray, every last detail. This is his pride, and where he sits in his studio, smelling the turpentine and knowing that each element of his house is in perfect order, he feels the ultimate satisfaction. While trying to find the right combination of paints on his palette, he suddenly feels very thirsty, but soon remembers there isn't any orange juice left in the refrigerator. In fact, it's also about time to stock up on both additive and powdered soap. He couldn't get everything at the supermarket when he went to shop for dinner. I don't know what the fuck those are. Different types of soaps, that is. A supermarket when he goes to shop for dinner, but it will probably be quite heavy. I'm gonna go get some water real quick, guys. I don't know. Discuss what's happening in chat. I think you guys should be able to. Okay, I'm coming back. Did I lose you guys? It wouldn't appear so. You also didn't discuss in chat, but that's acceptable. Now then, where should I leave off to go shopping? As he ponders this dilemma, he heads downstairs to the kitchen. Just then a breath of air tickles the back of his neck, bringing him to a halt in the middle of the hallway. Oh no. A breeze. Impossible! Every window in the house is closed. Yosuke shut them himself during his morning cleaning, and he knows everything about his house. Yosuke enters the living room, searching for the source of the breeze. Something stinks. It's the same pungent smell of fetid swampland that emanates from the Sakisaka house. The window facing the yard next to the door is open, its curtains billowing loosely in the gentle breeze. There's a hole in the glass next to the lock. It looks strange, like it was melted by some chemical instead of broken. Someone must have reached through the hole to unlock the window. No, not. Okay, sorry. Yosuke stands paralyzed, his heart pounding with anger and fear. He listens carefully, but hears nothing. Perhaps the intruder has already finished his business and left? But a burglar wouldn't have left the room untouched, would he? Maybe he heard Yosuke coming and hid somewhere nearby? Yosuke realizes that his still wet palette knife is in his right hand. He must have forgotten to put it aside before going downstairs. He stares numbly at the knife for a moment, then decides it's not enough protection. Instead, he grabs the ashtray sitting on top of the table, made of thick, solid glass. It is big and heavy enough to serve as a weapon. The home that he thought of as part of himself now seems utterly alien. Keenly aware of the thumping of his heart, Yosuke looks around the living room and sees little that could be used as a hiding place. The intruder must have gone either to the guest room or through the dining room to the kitchen. Fucker's not looking up. The kitchen is close to the stairs. If there had been movement, Yosuke would have noticed it when he came down, which means the guest room is the most likely place. Shuffles over the guest room door and prepares to slide it open. But what is that stench? Could the breeze alone carry something so foul? It's as if the odor is coming from inside the room. He readies his ashtray and throws open the door. The stray matted Japanese-style room is empty. There is a closet, but no one could fit in there. So the intruder already left. Yosuke relaxes, the exhaustion of sudden relief coming over him. And that is, I'm switching to the other side because you never fucking know. And that is when something seizes his ankle. The instant he freezes in shock, his leg is yanked out from under him, sending him crashing to the floor. Stars explode behind his eyes as his head smacks against the door rail. The hand, as if it could even be called that, wrapped around Yosuke's ankle all the way back to beneath the living room sofa. There are barely 5 centimeters between the sofa and the floor. Whatever is hiding there can't possibly be human. Oh, before I forget, I gotta do something on a Discord server. I just want to change my nickname real quick. I'm just changing my nickname. Jonah. Yeah, that's all. Done. There are barely 5 centimeters between the sofa and the floor. Whatever's hiding there can't possibly be human. Ah! Before the screaming Yosuke can regain his footing, countless hand-like appendages seize his arms and legs, rendering him helpless. Calm down. Don't be scared. As the hideous voice burbles in his ear, something cold and soft crawls atop him. Yosuke can't even scream. His terror is so great. It won't hurt. Don't be scared. It won't hurt. Thin, tube-like appendages penetrate his ears and nose, wriggling deep into his skull. Right before the sensation drives him... Oh, she's experimenting. Right before the sensation drives him mad, Yosuke loses consciousness. Poor Saya. Guys, imagine being Saya. Because Saya's obviously gonna fix him. Like, that's what she's doing. She wants to fix him. And he's gonna see her as some fucking monster, and he's gonna be like, well then. Thank you for taking the time to see us, Koji said. Oh, yeah, let's switch over here now. Switch over to the main monitor. Thank you for taking the time to see us, Koji says. How do I get rid of that? Whatever. She must be quite talented. Cody says, his humble brow concealing his surprise at the doctor's youth. Even without her light makeup, she wouldn't look a day over 30. She must be quite talented to be leading a neurosurgeon at such a young age. Don't mention it. I was hoping somebody like you would come along. Her friendly smile has none of the coldness one might expect from her sharp, refined beauty. It's a pleasure to meet you. I'm Dr. Tonbo, Sakisaka Fuminori's attending physician. I'm Fuminori's friend Tono Koji. This is Tsukuba-yo. Tsukuba-yo. Yo gives a quick bow, her expression apologetic. When they arrived at the T University Medical Center and asked to see Fuminori's doctor, Koji and Yo had been prepared for rejection. They hadn't expected the ease with which their request was granted. You said you want to know what's wrong with him. Well, so do I. I'm sorry? He didn't come in for his checkup 2 days ago. I tried calling his home, but there was no answer. 2 days ago. The same day Fuminori was searching that abandoned house. Koji frowns, wondering what was important enough for him to blow off his appointment. What is he like at school? He's totally messed up. Seeing Yo's shoulders jerk out from the corner of his eye, Koji regrets not choosing his words more carefully. Since the accident, he's been like a completely different person. We have no idea what to do, so we thought that talking to you might help. Are you medical students too? She asked out of nowhere. Huh? Well, yeah. Would you like to see his chart? You'd really show it to us? Koji replies, incredulous. Dr. Tonbo regards him silently for a moment, then sighs and says, Someone wanted to see it, and without the hospital's permission. His files were stolen from the archives 2 nights ago. What? Stares hard at the astonished students, then shakes her head with a tired smile. Well, it doesn't look like you two are involved. That's a relief. Of course we aren't! However, the culprit must have had an interest in his condition, or wanted to erase his records. Either way, I can only assume that it was someone close to him. I see. An ominous thought flashes through Koji's mind. It couldn't have been Fuminori himself, could it? Koji looks at Dr. Tonbo and finds her staring right back at him, her expression grave. He realizes that she must be harboring the same suspicion. What do you think? Do you have any idea who might have done it? Perhaps Dr. Tonbo didn't have anyone in mind when she asked, but Koji's thoughts immediately fly to that eerie house to which Fuminori led him. I don't really know what their relationship is, but there's someone called Ogai, probably a doctor or a... Koji stops speaking as he sees the dramatic change that has come across Dr. Tonbo's expression. You know Dr. Ogai? Do you know when and where Fuminori met that man? No, that's what I'd like to know. Just who is this Ogai? After remaining silent for some time, Tonbo looses a very heavy sigh. Alright, it's not like you couldn't find out on your own, but Ogai Masahiko was a doctor teaching at this hospital. He was dismissed over 6 months ago, however, following certain incidents. What incidents? Sorry, got it. What did he do? I can't say any more. Fuck. I'm looking at one of my favorite streamers. He's going to be streaming from 8:10 p.m. Doctor, he says, making up his mind, Fuminori might be involved in a crime. To some declaration, both Yo and Dr. Tonbo raise their eyebrows. What do you mean? A friend of ours went missing after going to see him. Fuminori denies any involvement, of course. Guys, shit's not looking too good. You mean Omi? Koji's unable to bear the shock in Yo's voice. I'm sorry, Tsukuba. I couldn't tell you. Dr. Tonbo is frowning, her expression even more serious than before. Right now, this Ogai seems to be the center of Fuminori's attention. If we know who he is and what Fuminori is looking for, we might start to see the whole picture. Please tell us, doctor, just what happened at this hospital. Dr. Tombo hesitates for some time, refusing to make eye contact, but she finally shakes her head. I'm sorry, this is not a decision I can make on my own. Doctor! Give me some time. I'll do my own investigating now that I know how far this has gone. Please. Koji's out of options. All that's left is to trust this young doctor.
Sure, it'd be a shame if she fucking died.
It's frustrating, but a friend's rights only go so far. Whoops, that's basically not the click key. Let's exchange cell phone numbers. I'll call you if I learn anything, and you call me the moment anything changes. Alright. What happened to me? Yosuke's awareness returns slowly as though rising from a bog. He's cold. No, hot. Something itches like tepid tongues and cold slugs crawling over his skin. What the hell's going on? Timidly he opens his eyes. Whoa. It's everywhere. The thing that attacked him in the living room. It's everywhere! The terror shatters Yosuke's sanity. He throws off the thing lying atop him, but his wild flailing sends him crashing to the floor. But is it really the floor? The long wriggling fibers of what should be the carpet are winding themselves around his fingers. The floor is made of worms. He tears his limbs free of the worms and tries to stand, but loses his balance and tumbles to the floor again. The worms immediately swarm over his body. Where am I? Where did that thing take me? Yosuke crawls across the worm-ridden floor towards the only exit from this pulsating room. When he gets outside, however, all he can see is blood, bile, and rotten meat. There is no place to run. What is this? Most terrifying of all, the hellish place has the same layout as Yosuke's house. In a half-mad daze, he wanders through the nightmarish mockery of his home. A small room where his studio should be, he finds an easel made of bones displaying a blood-soaked canvas. Like some cruel joke, everything is exactly where it should be in Yosuke's studio. Damn it! Let me out! Let me out of here! Howling, Yosuke lashes out against everything within reach. The easel of bones shatters, driving splinters into his fist. Feels the pain, but does not wake from the nightmare. If this isn't a dream, then what is it? When his strength gives out, Yosuke falls to his knees, sobbing. For the first time in his life, he prays. The sound of door opening and closing grates on his ears. Downstairs, the front door. We're home? Yosuke trembles at the blood-curdling sound. It's that thing again. The monster has returned. Daddy! We're home! Where's dinner? That wasn't... Oh, he's not here? Did he go shopping? When can we eat? Yosuke hears the sound of something slimy sloshing its way up the stairs. Even as he cowers in the corner, his trembling hands grabs one of the bones from the broken easel. The tip of the bone is nice and sharp. It holds... If he holds it in both hands, puts his weight behind it, he might be able to use it to defend it. He's gonna fucking kill his daughter. Jesus Christ. Holding his breath. Monster growls are getting closer. Holding his breath, Yosuke presses his back against the wall next to the door. The pounding of his heart is like thunder in his ears, so loud that he fears the creature might hear it. He knows it will eat him if it finds him again, but it's all he can do to stop from crying. At last, the door creaks open. Honey? Yosuke leaps on the creature as it enters, fear turning his roar into a high-pitched scream. The flesh beast is covered in sludge and vile juices. Before the horror can paralyze him, Yosuke brings his bone stake, stabbing down. The monster screams as the stake pierces its chest and punches through the other side. It falls back, writhing in agony. The sight of its pain sets Yosuke's blood on fire. I can win. I can kill it. If I finish it off before it enters my head again, I'm safe. Yosuke grabs the bone and twists with all his might. The monster convulses and gurgles, its trembling tentacles reaching up as though begging for help. Die! 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 Yosuke knocks it to the floor, then brings his heel crashing down on its flopping body again and again. With each stomp, it groans in spasms, growing weaker. When the monster at last stops twitching, Yosuke, panting hard, tears the stake from its corpse and rises to his feet. Daddy? Something squeals. Yosuke turns around to see another, smaller creature peeking out at him from the stair landing. There's still one left. His desperate, rage-filled attack both exhilarated him and gave him a taste for violence. This one will be easier. It's smaller and weaker. Grinning maniacally, Yosuke raises his stake and moves towards the second creature. The monster flees screeching down the stairs. Not about to let his prey escape, Yosuke roars and gives chase. The thought that killing the monsters might end this nightmare feeds his savage bloodlust. No, Daddy, no! This is the picture next. I definitely can see where they were going when they said disturbing themes. When the monster trips and falls in the dining room, Yosuke leaps on top of it and brings the stake crashing down, his bloodlust unsated. He pulls it free, then drives it again into the monster's flesh, once, twice, 3 times, and more, until there's nothing left but shredded, pulverized meat. Eventually, the only sound in the house is Yosuke's heavy breathing. He has slain 2 monsters, but the nightmare shows no sign of ending. Yosuke staggers to the front door and goes outside. This is the picture now. The sky, the city, everything has gone mad. Twisted shapes, nauseating colors, stinking air. There's no escape, no end to this nightmare. The last remnant of Yosuke's sanity vanishes like dust in the wind. Hi, mister! Yosuke turns to the sound of a girl's voice. It's Saya! Yay! Oh god, that was a pretty bad voice crack. Yay! She's standing in front of the house next door, wearing a spotless one-piece over her pure white skin. In the midst of this filth-rodden world, she alone glows with beauty. How do I look to you, mister? You're very cute. Yosuke feels a sudden black lust rise within him. Really? Then the experiment might be a success. Yosuke walks up to the strangely... I don't like where this is going. Strangely jubilant girl and brushes his hand across her long, smooth hair. Such a lovely girl. You must be the only one in this whole world. Mister? She looks up at the man towering above her, perhaps disturbed by his hungry stare. How about we play a game, girl? Okay, but what are we going to do? A grin parts Yosuke's lips and he replies, everything that will please me, of course. With that, he grabs the girl's collar and tears the front of her dress wide open. She's shocked at fear twists literally the girl's delicate features stimulating Yosuke's sadism. Even after killing those 2 monsters, the embers of violence still smoldering in his heart, and now they have a new fuel to burn. Oh, I like this expression on you. Would you show me an even prettier one? No, no! The terrified girl flees into the Sagisaka house. Yosuke runs after her, feeling the joy of the hunt. No, stay away! Even in the desperation, she has no hope of outrunning his longer stride. Yosuke charges down the hallway and catches up to her in the kitchen. He grabs her from behind and wrestles her to the floor before she can resist. Let me go! Why are you doing this? Like I said, because you're too cute. Enjoying the sensation within arm struggling futilely against his grip, Yosuke uses his weight to hold her down while ripping off her remaining crap of clothing. No, I don't want to stop! Yosuke stares at the smooth, perfect body of the girl flopping beneath him. The thought of violating such an immaculate creature amid the horrors of the picture world is irresistibly erotic. Yosuke runs his tongue over her stomach and chest as though trying to eat her whole. She stiffens and whimpers at the sensation. It isn't supposed to be this way. Her tear-choked voice satisfies Yosuke. Lust for conquest. This nightmare has violated him, but now he's able to visit the same torment on this innocent girl, where he was the victim. He's now the victimizer. The release he feels is intoxicating. No, stop, I'm scared. Fuminori... I haven't even done anything yet. Putting his mouth close to the sobbing girl's ear, Yosuke whispers, if you're this scared already, how will you scream when I put it in you? Stop. Help me, Fuminori. What? That doesn't make a lick of sense. As always, the sight of the city grates on my nerves. Okay, so can someone please fucking explain this to me? Explain how she should be able to get him off of her. Unless he's perceiving reality in a different manner, which I doubt, but maybe. Like, he's obviously seeing in a different manner, of course, but from what Fuminori said earlier, everything was normal until he started seeing things, and once he started seeing things, everything smelled, sounded, and tasted normal, and then he started seeing everything as gross, disgusting, bile, all that fun stuff, and then he starts to be like, oh god, this world's full of filth, and suddenly the food starts tasting bad once he sees it. The Yeah, you get what I'm saying. But that doesn't make any sense. It's always the sights of the city grate on my nerves. Today, however, I don't feel as much hatred as I usually do. I have grown more accustomed to my condition, but that is not the reason for tonight's high spirit. My search of the Ogai house is finally borne fruit. When I pulled all the drawers out of the desk in the study, I found an envelope stuck between the desk and wall. It must have fallen off the back of the writing tray. Inside were 3 outdoor photographs. I couldn't recognize the scenery due to my condition, but I'm pretty sure that they show 3 buildings. Drawn on the back of each photo was addressed. Nagano Prefecture, M Village, Tochichigi Prefecture, S-Town, Shizuiko Prefecture, H-Town. None of the names is familiar, so they must be way out in the countryside. The photos are all dated more than 10 years ago. I don't know why they were taken or what they mean, but maybe Sai will be able to make some sense of them. Preemptively switching to the other screen. In that case, this is something that even Saya missed while she was living in that house. I wonder how she'll react when I show her what I found. Saya, I want so badly to see her. The thought of her waiting for me speeds my footsteps. When I step through the gate, I see that the front door is wide open again. This is the second time this has happened. Upon entering the house this time, however, the sound of Saya crying chills my blood. And it's not just her. I hear a low, wet grunting. There's no time to take off my shoes. I race down the hallway, propelled by a terrifying premonition. 1 second. I'm just gonna... And it's not just her. I hear a low, wet grunting. There's no... config menu. Hallway, propelled by a terrifying premonition. 1 second. Okay. A monster is in my house and it's attacking Saya. It feels eating from the body, spreads across the skin, and it moves an animal ferocity. She looks at me with tear-filled eyes and calls my name in a weak, breathless voice. Kumari, help! Rage erupts from me like black lava. The monster stops gorging itself with Saya's body and turns its head to look at me. Surprised by my own composure, I slid past it and grabbed the meat cleaver sitting next to the sink. Without a moment's hesitation, I slashed the monster's face. A monster is in my house and it's attacking Saya. Oh yeah, that's a big chunk. A monster. I scream to staggers away from Saya. My attacker is blinded because it flails its tentacles widely as it tries to drive me away. My bloodlust still unsated. I calmly seize one of the appendages and plunge my weapon twice more into its quivering flesh. The blade enters its body with fascinating ease. Each strike sprays my face with its blood. Yeah, that's a big chunk. As I carve the peat muttered. I scream to staggers away from Saya. My attacker is blinded because it flails its tentacles widely as it tries to drive me away. My bloodlust still unsated. I calmly seize one of the appendages. I need to see something about sound options. I apologize. Because I want to see. Okay. Okay, we're done with experimenting. As I carve the monster to pieces and savor its hideous screams, my mind is finally consumed by rage. No mercy, I'll see this monster suffer for what it has done to Saya. I give myself to the fury, howling at the top of my lungs. As I slash and slash and slash and slash. Even after the flesh beast stopped moving, I keep slashing until I realize it can no longer feel pain. Cursing myself for killing it so quickly, I stab the cleaver into the floor, snapping it in half. When my thoughts finally begin to gain some confusion, I find myself still digging the broken knife into the floor. The monster is gone, but the pieces of... Okay, I need to shut myself the fuck up. I had me unmuted. When my thoughts finally begin to regain some cohesion, I find myself still digging the broken knife into the floor. The monster is gone, but pieces of it are scattered everywhere. I stop cutting into the tile, and in sudden silence I hear Saya's faint sobs coming from the corner of the kitchen. Saya? I think this is appropriate enough. I hope I won't get demonetized for this. This is a picture. She looks all bummed out. Saya, I pull the cowering Saya into my arms. She stiffens in fear at first, but as soon realizes that it's me, she clings to my body and cries. Fuminori, I was scared. So scared. I don't know what to say. I can only keep holding her. It should never have happened to Saya. Everything in this twisted world is to blame. Yes, including myself. I couldn't protect her. If I'd been here, then maybe I could have prevented this. I'm sorry, she says again and again in a voice choked with tears. And I wanted to hear that from her. I pull her head into my chest. Don't say that, Saya. It's not your fault. I try to reassure her, but she shakes her head vigorously in denial. No, it is. I did it. I don't understand. What is she saying? You did what? I messed with his brain, she answers, glancing at the dismembered body with her swollen eyes. I made the inside of his head the same as yours. I made him see the world like you do. It takes some time to understand the meaning of Saya's words. What? But how? Finally regaining her composure, Saya responded to my confusion with a low voice. I can do stuff like that. I can change the bodies of other living things. I've had this ability since I was born. Every organism is different, so I have to study them in detail before I know how to change them. By doing some research, I figured out what happened to your brain. So I wanted to see if I could do the same thing to someone else's. But why? I thought if everyone were like you, then they all would be kind to me. My heart aches at the loneliness in her voice as she confesses her sorrowful wish. But that man, he wasn't kind at all. He said he wanted to hurt me, break me, and he... She starts crying into my chest again. Unable to say anymore, I gently rub her back while trying to get my jumbled thoughts together. What is Saya? That she can do such a thing? The answer is beyond me. However, there's one thing that I can answer here and now. Saya is mistaken. You think I'm kind to you because of the accident? Yeah, she nods sadly. I smile and shake my head. You're wrong. That was only the beginning. Our relationship is the sum of so much more. Bruh, imagine once she's gonna fix him at some point. And what's gonna happen after that is he's gonna be like, well then. Question is he gonna fuck the slime girl? You're wrong, that was only the beginning. Our relationship is so much more. The time you and I have spent together, these days, those experiences, are what made us what we are. Fuminori, you've been here for me, Saya. There for me, Saya, sharing my pain, giving me hope and joy. That's how you became so important to me. See, it's harder than you think. Saya is still crying, but now her tears feel warm against my cheek. Yeah, I understand. I finally understand. Her smile shines through my tears. I only have you, Fuminori. There will never be anyone else. Now more than ever before, I feel the depth of the bond between us, and I'm sure Saya feels it too. I wrap my arms tightly around her and seal her lips with mine. Saya responds, winding her arms around my neck as our tongues typically seek each other's warmth. This moment, Saya is my whole world, and I am hers. The earth turns for us alone. Of course, still haven't told her something very important. I don't know why I've never said before, perhaps because it was always so obvious. However, I should put it where it was at least once, this oath of mine. Saya, Here's a picture. Here's a picture of her face, really zoomed in. Wait. She stops me with a finger against my lips. Before that, Fuminori, tell me one thing. What do you want? What do I want? Saya nods, staring into my eyes with unusual solemnity. Like I said, I can affect the bodies of living things in a way that nothing else can. And now that I've learned how to manipulate human brains... Saya pauses and takes a deep breath before continuing. I can turn you back to normal. What? Until now, that hasn't even been in the realm of possibility. Just have to do the opposite of what I did to that man. It's really simple. Place Saya's words in my head to be sure of their meaning. So tell me, Fuminori, do you want to return to your old life? Do you want to take back what you lost in the accident? Quick save! Wait, no. Open save load menu. Quick load. Open. Load. O2. Save. Okay, and that's where we're gonna leave off today, guys. Wait, no. First, you gotta... This is the option. Want it all back, don't need it anymore. This... cliffhanger time, I gotta keep you guys interested. So, I'll see y'all next time. Except, really, you one person.